Where's the mouse? Every time. We are here live on location. Mad Scramble live on location. If Lisa moves her head out of the way at ABSH Computers Proprietary Limited with Brendan and the team. Future to be called Techosity. Shh, don't tell anybody. But we're here live on location. We're in Melbourne.
Yes.
If you've been following us on Instagram or any of the other socials,
don't go on Instagram this morning, please.
Yeah,
anyone.
Please go on Instagram. You'll learn that Lisa has one job every morning to do, and this morning, after the big Go the Maroons, anyone in Australia knows that it was a state of origin last night, and the Queensland Maroons kicked it. Well, what's the other team? I don't know. Was there another team in the game? Anyway, they won the series, so go Queenslander. So needless to say, as Queenslander,
you know what I love about this? The Canadian that lives in Perth is all about the state of origin.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the biggest bogan Queenslander sitting next to you of all time. But
Absolutely.
Anyway, yes. So look, in my defense, this is why I'm a unicorn, right? Because I still get to have a human experience while being like this crazy ass unicorn.
Right.
From time to time. So I just was having a human experience to make you feel better about yourself.
That's right.
I think.
Yes.
It's okay.
We won't go into the details, but it's on our Instagram story.
Don't worry about it.
So we've been traveling across the East Coast here. We started in Brisbane on Monday, Sydney on Tuesday, now here yesterday in Melbourne, and here for the rest of the week visiting clients. But part of the reason for us coming over here, other than seeing our clients here in the East Coast, was actually to introduce our newest workshop, which is Your Best Year Ever. We decided that we've been working with clients now for 4 or 5 years, and every year on year, we keep getting the same feedback from our clients regularly. Like, guys, you don't realize this has been our best year ever. And we thought, like, wow, like how powerful is this, the work that we get to do in the world and the people we get to serve and help them have their best year ever, year after year after year after year. And so we thought, well, what if we could go on the road and start to share with people how we've been helping those clients do that? I mean, we do a lot of work, we post a lot of content up, of course, but what if we could actually condense the concepts, the methodologies, some of the models that we use and put it into a workshop where we could share that and educate people on the work that we're doing and how to help you have your best year ever. So that's what we've been doing on the road this past week, is taking that new workshop out and taking it for a test run.
Yeah.
Taking the new workshop for a test run, which is awesome. And we will be running that workshop as a live, like online version as well. I think the first one's coming up end of 27th of July. We'll be having that. But this is kind of today on our live. We just wanted to share with a little bit about the stuff that we've covered in that workshop, run through a couple of the models so you can get a taste for what it's about.
Yeah.
And then, and hopefully if you have any questions about it, you can have a chat with us and, we can either get you registered for the upcoming live or you can have a conversation about how to have your best year ever. So I'm going to throw to you because this is not rehearsed. Unlike
is it ever?
Unlike all our other lives that are highly rehearsed. What have you picked up as we've been doing this? We obviously kicked off in Brisbane. But from the workshop itself, the things we've been sharing with people, what have been some of the highlights that, or what are the lessons that you picked up from Your Best Year Ever workshop? Because this is really, you've only been with us for a year now, and you start with less than a year now, but you're starting to see some of the stuff. And you're working with all the clients, and you're getting to, speak to them. And like when Corey the other day sent you a message and said, like, wow, this has been our best year ever. And then now you've seen the workshop as we're rolling it out, and so you're highly participating in that workshop. I'd love to get your take on it.
Thank you. I think the big thing that I've learned in the last couple of strongs, as we've been, because one of our core days here at Circle Leadership is simplicity, so freedom from complexity. So like what Dave was alluding to, all of this feed forward and stuff that we're getting from everybody about having their best year ever. It's like, well, this means that for that person and that person and that person and that person. And so consolidating all of that so that we can really go, all right, well, what are the key things that meant that these people were having their best year ever? But I know for me, if someone posed that question of me only 3 or 6 months ago, it's like, what would that look like? And for me, my brain goes straight to a dollar figure. It goes straight to numbers on a screen.
Yep.
But what we've been learning and the feed forward that we've been getting from so many of our clients is it's not, the dollar figure isn't even the primary piece. Like,
That's the last piece.
it forms part of their best year ever. Their best year ever, absolutely. But it's a holistic best year ever. And I know that I can stand here and say I'm having my best year ever. But what does that look like? And where do the dollars come into that? Well, they do, but they're certainly not a really big key part of it. It's the fact that I'm engaged and loving and getting to hang out with incredible people doing great work in the world. It's knowing that my 6 human needs aren't only just met, but they're exceeding that which has ever been before. It's people are spending more time with those people in their life that matter most, doing the things that matter most, feeling fit, healthy, and strong in their body more this year than ever before, or taking the actions that are helping them be that. And so as they continue to evolve and as they continue to expand and experience themselves in their life, so their capacity as a leader is growing and their business is also growing and having its best year ever as a result. So that's probably been one of the key things.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about your best year ever, to Lisa's point there, that usually not usually, most times it's like the you wouldn't believe like the lifestyle. So the first thing is because what we found when we first start working with people, and please ask yourself this question when you're looking at this through your own lens, is there's two ways to get greater results in life, right? One is to work longer and harder than you ever have before to get greater results, or even to maintain the results you're currently getting, or the other is to become more, right? And unfortunately, most people, we first speak to them, they've got all the really cool stuff in life. They've got all the toys, everything like they could ever want. So that, the trappings of success that they would love. But they're working longer and harder than they ever have to maintain a business that, that is doing good, but it's not going anywhere. Right? So if your business is doing good, but it's not going anywhere, it's sort of plateaued, as we would call it, but it's still producing okay. But what we're finding is that people have to work longer and harder just to keep it where it is, let alone get it to go somewhere else. And then through that, if you're working longer and harder, then you're starting to compromise a whole bunch of things like your lifestyle, your health, your well-being. You can go grab my cup, please. Over there. Yeah.
I'm just the coffee guy.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm doing that wrong.
Sorry,
as well.
people don't understand why. Let me just put Shield's comment up here. So, Lisa and Dave, love that you're committed to streamlining from Melbourne. Where's the coffee? Yes, the coffee is just over there. Sorry, allow me to thank you. My bucket of productivity, Shield, here it is. Notice that it is actually a real long black coffee. It is not an instant cup. So when you're working in your business and you're having to just work longer and harder to keep it where it is, and then you're compromising your health, your lifestyle, your family, your relationships, and maybe not totally compromising them, but you're certainly, if you're working longer and harder, you have to borrow from your life. When you're working more in your business, then you're borrowing that time that you would be spending somewhere in your life. All right, so it's really important to understand the thermos of coffee.
Thermos of coffee.
Yeah. Lisa's had to bring a thermos, a Yeti that is indestructible because she has a habit of breaking. We'll talk about that on another live stream. We should just do a live stream of a whole bunch of bloopers and things like that, of stuff that we have to experience.
Just this shattered glass all over the ground.
Yeah, you have to watch where you walk carefully around these things because there's shattered glass everywhere. So like if you're working longer and harder than you ever had in your business, then you're borrowing that time from things that your own life, like your hobbies, your sports, your interests, your family, your relationships, all these sorts of things. So what if you could actually have all that time and maybe even more time for that and still achieve equal, if not greater, in your business? And that's what we've what we've seen year on year on year on year with our clients, that they continue to have their best year ever. And that starts with lifestyle. You wouldn't understand the lifestyle. Like, I'm spending more time with my family. I'm getting out to go cycling. I'm working with following my things that make me happy in terms of my pursuits, hobbies, sports, interests, whatever it might be. I'm getting to draw again. I'm getting to paint again. I'm getting to whatever. And guess what? The people in our organization, this is the best our culture's ever been. And guess what? We're more productive than we've ever been. And then guess what? Our business is more profitable than it's ever been. So you can achieve more from less and have more time for all the other things you want to do in life. There's three resources you'll always spend part of or a combination thereof. And that's time, energy, and money. Right? Unfortunately, time is one of the few things that you don't get more back. You can always create more money. You can always find more energy. But time is the finite resource. So when we're talking about this, we want to help all of you have your best year ever, right? We want you to achieve more from less or equal than,
So I
right?
have a question just on that. So you spoke to Sam about time,
Yep.
energy, and money.
Yep.
Now, of those three things, time and energy
Yep.
are non-physical. They're not actual tangible things.
No.
Money's barely tangible these days as well. It's numbers on a screen for the most part, right? And so as people are having their best years ever and that's coming about as a result of feeling better, of having more energy, of having more time, is it possible that a lot of our best years ever first start in non-physical? It's a feeling state. We feel better, we have more energy, we're a higher vibe. And then from that's not even physical. We just are feeling better, we're happier, we're vibing higher. And then from there, that energy, that non-physical state then comes down into something tangible that we can measure and that we can hold in like that's solid, I suppose.
Yeah. That
goes into a whole other story. Like, this is actually nearly almost 100% space because it's made of atoms and atoms and 99.99% space. I'm not going to get into that, but I know. I'm sorry, I won't go there. The thing is, though, is everything that we create in our life, does it first exist in non-physical? Does it first start with a thought? And does a thought or the way that your brain is operating or what you're putting out in there generate a feeling? And then the higher and the better we feel, does that also transpose into our life, into our business, into the things that we can measure? And so what would it take for us to think and feel better in non-physical first? And that's a big old can of worms that we're not going to go there. But
that might be a separate live stream we can do on that whole subject matter, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But it is true. So look, think about like time, energy, and money. So these are the three key resources that we have available to us. Two are intangible, one's tangible. One of them is definitely finite. Like you can always somehow summon up some more energy. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So if you could actually achieve more from less than or equal to the time you're spending and had that time, what would you be doing? And the fascinating thing about when a lot of our clients, when they first started, they're so used to working now and so used to going to work where they feel valued and know that they can do something and have an impact, that they've almost lost that connection to life or things that matter most in life.
Oh, that's happened to me. 100%. Everything went into work because that's where all of your human needs are met. If you feel love and connection, significance, contribution, growth, variety, and certainty, and work has been meeting all of those needs for you, it can be. And I was posed this question not that long ago. Actually, what matters most? Are all of your eggs in that basket? And what happens if we could have lots of different spaces that help cultivate more of that in our life? So, yeah,
Okay, so we're going to go to the whiteboard here. I want to just let's hope that this. This will be fun. We are in ABS Sage Computers, the Techlocity, future of Techlocity here. So hopefully we should have no tech problems. I think.
Say these things out loud. What did you?
Oh, I have to screen. Yeah, there we go.
On the button.
No, this is the problem. So you let me loose on the computer. So the first thing I want to share with you, I'm going to do three different things here that we work with our clients on. Not only the only three things, but three things that we do cover that start to create the foundation of developing your best year ever, ongoing. So the first thing is we talk about the four questions that every organization or every business should be able to answer, and everyone in the business should be able to answer together and exactly the same way. The first thing then, of course, is purpose, which is why does our business exist? So you need to be very clear and able your ability to articulate why does your business exist, right? And that purpose there is to engage people. So that this is the reason why we should get out of bed every day to come to work. Yes, I appreciate people need to come for a paycheck and that, but you could earn your paycheck anywhere. You could make money anywhere. Why did you choose this business? Why do you choose this role, this job, that whatever it is that you have? So we want to make sure that people have a sense of meaning to the work that they're doing, right? That I believe that everybody wants their lives to be more meaningful. So this should be, how do I create work that is meaningful, full of meaning, and getting very clear on why your business exists.
Well, if I'm hanging out with you by choice in Melbourne, when I could be with my fan band and friends in Queensland and the sun broke.
Yes, that's good. That's a very good question.
because we have an engaging purpose.
Yes, right.
That I can get around.
Yep. Right. So this is the first thing: is you must have a purpose that engages people, right? So purpose is what drives your business. and so that it answers why for your organization. And it should be something you can articulate in 10 words or less.
Why?
Okay? So what is your purpose of your organization? What is the problem that you're passionate about solving? And then once you have that, then you need to look at what are our values, which is what we call the unique thinking of our business, is how we think around here. What makes us different in the way we think, right? And this here is actually designed to empower our people. And we were just talking about that with the team here at ABSH this morning in the team meeting, is that, to understand that these values are here to empower them to make smarter decisions. Is to help them have the lenses. Here's how we think around here, not what to think, but here's how we think around here. So as a leader of an organization, if you want to have your best year ever, can you imagine if you have to make all the decisions and do all the thinking in the organization? Well, that can be very draining and demanding on you. But what if we could empower our teams to make smarter decisions and understand that we can capture the essence of here's how we think around here, not telling people what to think, but how we think. So that they can start making, they know why they're at work, and then they know how we think around here to make those decisions. Then you as a leader don't have to be around to make all the decisions. What you're doing is when your people have made a decision, all you then become as the coach and coach the what they've come up with in the decision making. So your job is then to continually just coach them to become even more effective in their decision making. So then you don't have to make it, because ideally in the end, no difference why we have you here and we have Tiana. And Tiana, if you're watching, we miss you.
Lovely.
That Tiana,
Save me. I'm not okay.
that Tiana is in our team, and you're on our team. Not for me to tell you guys what to do, but for you guys to tell me what we should do.
Yeah.
Right?
And that takes a little bit of unlearning as well as we move through. And remember, as we shift the way that we think about things in our organization, and we start living through the lens of our purpose, through our values, and if you've been, and your organization and your people have been doing something for a little while, it's a little bit like Saturn. It can be a bit of a slow burn to come back around, but eventually it's going to be something that will be effective and profitable in its delivery. Not profitable in the sense that more dollars, but
the return on that investment.
Yeah, exactly. Because we hear so many people, I just don't have room to think. But the great thing about having values and a framework that you can and your people can freestyle in is if you're empowering people to make better decisions through the lens of some really solid values that you can explain really simply in a way that everybody understands. It's number one, decisions and thoughts and processes that you don't have to come up with. So Dave, you're now free to do work that Dave must do, not thinking on behalf of everybody else. Because if you've got to do the thinking for both of us, one of us is redundant. And and if you are providing awesome frameworks for people to think inside of, you don't have to worry about them making crappy or wrong decisions so much. Like Dave was saying before, you just get to coach that gap. And every great decision that someone else makes is one that A, you don't have to come up with, or B, you have to fix later because it's crap. So,
yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about the frameworks in a second. So, because that's really important, the point that Lisa's making here. So when you've got that framework to empower people to make smarter decisions, you should have no more than what we challenge you to have no more than 6 values. And if you can have a word or a definition of each of those values in 5 words or less, therefore you should be able to explain your values to us in 36 words or less. All right. And then after you've had that, if we've been living this purpose through the lens of these values for the next 10 or 20 years, what's our world going to look like? We need an inspiring picture of the world, a picture of the world that's greater than all of us combined, that we can't accomplish alone. And that becomes this vision. It's the impact of us living this purpose through the lens of these values every day. Where in the past, a lot of people get their vision wrong, is they think, oh, we must have 10 ABSHs all across Australia or across the world, or circle leaderships and all. Like, that's a selfish, what I call a selfish vision. Your real vision, the inspiring vision of the world, is the one where it's the impact of us getting up every single day, the next 10 or 20 years, living our purpose through the lens of our unique thinking in terms of our values. What's the impact we want to have on the world? And or a simple way to ask this of yourselves, go, if we don't do that, what's the world going to miss out on? Right? So then you have this vision that inspires people. And once again, you should be able to articulate that in 10 words or less. And then the last thing you need to do, from an organizational point of view, the 4th question you need to be able to answer. This is a really cool part here, because we're in many organizations in the past, why people now are having their best year ever is because they've actually been able to create a culture and strategy alignment, where a culture doesn't need to eat strategy for breakfast every day. Imagine if your culture and a strategy were actually in total alignment, where the culture actually acted as a shield that wrapped around your strategy and protected it.
So if culture isn't eating strategy for breakfast anymore, Dave, what are we eating for breakfast this morning?
Cake.
Thank you.
Right. Is that the right
You
answer?
heard it here first, folks.
Yes, yeah, cake for breakfast.
Yep.
Be fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime, and have cake for breakfast every day.
Yes, back it up. Hashtag
Okay.
cake for breakfast if you want to know how.
Yeah. If you'd like to know how to have cake for breakfast every day and still be fit, strong, and healthy for a lifetime, please put hashtag cake for breakfast.
Yeah, love the shout.
So the last part then is we've been living our vision. Here's how you create the culture and strategy alignment. Our mission is not this 25-year statement that's been sitting up on the wall in our organizations for many years. And I still fight with myself. Have we been doing mission wrong, or the way we were doing mission just isn't serving us today? So let's work on the fact that the way we were doing missions in the past isn't serving us today. But the way to use mission to go forward is to actually look at mission in a much short-term thing, because missions used to be these 25 things, which is kind of like what a vision used to be for organizations, right? Our vision is to be this thing and do all this sort of stuff in the world. And that's then became a mission. And then, but really what a mission is, if you look in military terms, is we do this mission and then we have a rest, and then another mission that gets assigned to us, and we have a rest, and we do another mission that gets assigned to us. And all those missions eventually add up to achieve something great. So your mission then is just, who do we need to become in the next 3 years? So it's the evolution piece. Who do we need to evolve into in the next 3 years? So we work on a 3-year cycle to start creating this world that we see. And that's how you create this connection between culture and strategy, because the 3 hallmarks of an invincible culture are purpose, values, and vision. Something to believe in, someone who believes in me, and a leader that I can believe in who has a picture of the world. Those 3 things there. When we design a mission that's going to be, who do we need to become as an organization to start creating this world that we see, that's how we start to evolve as an organization, right? And then in 10 words or less, you should be able to tell us what the mission of your organization, what's the next evolution of your business. If you look at your organization and you go back 3 years ago, is your business the same today as it was 3 years ago? Most likely not for most organizations in the world today, especially because of the pandemic. But if you then go, the organization we have today, is it going to be the same organization we're going to have in 3 years from now? Most likely not, because businesses or organizations are a series of evolutions. What's the next evolution of your organization? So this is the evolving piece. So now we have a purpose that engages us, a set of values to empower our people, a vision that inspires everyone, and a mission to evolve us. So, and this mission, as we design who we need to become, is so that we can stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that we choose to serve, right? The whole point of this is to actually, look at this, is to say, how do we stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that we choose to serve? How do we make sure that everyone continues to stay in love or fall in love with why we do what we do as an organization? All right. And then once we have all that in place, and if you notice this all adds up to 66 words, you should be able to tell us in 66 words or less why your organization exists, how you uniquely think about it, the world that you want to create, and the organization you need to become to start creating that world.
And in the best year ever thing,
Yep.
and the love part down there, Dave, if you're having your best year ever, would you be loving it?
Absolutely.
Would you be loving your year? Would you be loving your business? Would you be loving your life? If you are having your best year ever, would you be loving it?
Yeah. Some people have, it's funny, they're busting their ass, they're working longer and harder, and they've fallen out of love with the work that they're doing, yet they need it. It's a means to an end now. And so we're in this vicious survival cycle. And let's say, imagine if you have to work longer and harder just to survive. Like, that's not what life's supposed to be about, people. That's not what business is supposed to be about. We're supposed to have the sense of meaning and all that stuff and love the work that we're doing. And then that creates an even greater life for us, that we can love the life that we have. And this is why this whole thing from, we go through generations, and I know this isn't really, but where we used to be, we work to live, and then we went to work-life balance, and then where we play in the world now is about work-life integration. Can you imagine actually just getting up and doing what you love doing every day, and being able to make someone here, get money, we'll get over there and put this question. Yeah, if you're having your best year ever, would you love it? Great question, 100%. Would you love what you're doing if you had your best year ever?
And we were only talking about this while we were walking down Victoria Street at about 1:45 the other night, absolutely freezing our butts off, laughing our faces off, our butts off, laughing our faces off. And we'd been speaking a lot about this whole notion of working longer and harder. And then I was like, you know what's amazing? We don't work longer and harder in this. Well, I've probably worked longer in this space than I have for a long time, but I'm not, it's not harder. What I do in this space is laugh longer and harder than I ever have before. Can you imagine an organization or a business or your space in your best year ever, would you be laughing longer and harder more than working longer and harder? And how
and
cool is it when you
loving
get to
longer
say
and
yes?
harder.
Yes. You look at the, I reckon if you go back through all of our live streams in the last 6 months, the start of it is both of us just laughing. That's how we start all of our live streams, because that is the thread that runs through our business now. We don't work longer and harder at Circle Leadership. We laugh and we love longer and harder. And that's why we do what we do in the world, because we're like, this is so freaking amazing. How can we help more people to do this? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, this is the whole point of this thing, about having your best year ever. So once you have all this stuff in place, you'll get all these wonderful words, 66 words or less, that will form this amazing narrative for your organization. Your ability to articulate clearly and forcefully why your organization exists, how you uniquely think about the world you want to create, the business you need to become, in 66 words or less. So it's not a word salad. We're not creating that. So words form a narrative, and then what you'll be able to do is build a strategy where numbers will tell the story. Oops. Numbers. Right. So you'll have all these numbers, so percentages, numbers, dollar values, whatever it might be. These words will form a narrative, and your numbers will tell the story. And this is how we create, once again, that culture and strategy alignment. So we'll be able to take this mission and articulate it in a way that goes, here's the 6 things that must be accomplished in order for us to show that we've become that organization. And then here's how we would know each of those things was achieved by these 3 metrics. So now we have starting to build what we call the frameworks for your organization. You'll have a cultural framework, which is your purpose, values, vision. You'll have a strategic framework, which is your mission and your objectives. Then you'll have a performance framework, which is the metrics and the numbers of your business. And then and only then will you worry about your tactical framework, which is how to, when you get down into a 90-day cycle. The reason why our clients have the best year ever and ever is because they focus on 3 things every 90 days. Every 90 days, what are the 3 things that matter most? And then only worry about how to then. So we're not spending any energy and worrying about stuff that we reverse engineered. All the energy and thinking can go into what we're doing right now in the next 90 days. Okay? So it's really important to understand that. The last couple of things I just want to quickly share with you is then looking at this from a personal leadership point of view and business leadership point of view. So please understand that, our purpose at Circle Leadership is to help leaders evolve themselves and their businesses to stay relevant. So from a leadership point of view, over here. So when you look at this, if we've been able to map out where our organization needs to be in the next 3 years, okay, this is where we need to be. We go, here's me today, the leader I am today, and the business I have today. Then we go, okay, well, this is the business we want to have in the next 3 years. Well, this leader here built this business here. So if we want to have this business in the next 3 years, we have to go, well, then who would I need to become in the next 3 years as a leader? Because the leader I am today built this business. The business I want to have in 3 years, well, who would I need to become to have that business? And then every year we go, well, how do we help you evolve yourself and your business to stay relevant? Because the mission is there to actually evolve not only us, but the business as well. Because your business will only evolve as much as you evolve. Okay? So we sit there and we go, and everything we work with our clients on is starting them to develop what's your theme for each year. And we're not going to go too deep into that because I'm also conscious of time. But each year we help our leaders say, okay, what's your theme for this year? Who do you need to become this year? Who do you need to become that? And that to actually become the leader that you need to be that would actually lead this business. So this is how we help you evolve yourself and your business to stay relevant. And that's the whole point of having that mission, because it involves not only the business, but it involves us as a leader. And then the last part we want to talk about then is why we work on the evolution versus, it's very sensitive. Why we work on evolution versus growth. And there's like a lot of people focus on having a growth mindset, right? So we all talk about growth. And we're not saying that growth isn't good, but growth alone by itself is not a good thing. Because how many people have you seen grow out of business, or the business grows so big it's bigger than the leader, or they grow into obscurity or relevance because the market has shifted or something's happened, right? So what we talk about evolution first, and that is making evolution the natural state of your business. And evolution to us is the steady progressive increase of your capabilities. So if you look at in terms of our capabilities, we help the clients from the best year ever constantly increase their capabilities. Okay? We want to make sure that you're more capable. And then through that, this way, you increase your capacity. So as we increase our capabilities, so too do we increase our capacity. So evolution is about the steady progressive increases of our capabilities and our capacity for greatness. Rather than just trying to be more for more, we help you become more so that you can actually achieve even more.
And through that, it's the steady progressive, not the immediate there now.
Yeah, not
Steady
rapidly or
progressive.
whatever. It's steady
Yeah.
progressive increase of your capabilities and your capacity for greatness. No different to this is saying, hey, and you'd be so surprised at how much you accomplish in the next 3 years, or who you become in the next 3 years, and how much your business accomplishes in the next 3 years when you steadily progressively increase your own capabilities and then your capacity for greatness as we go along. So these are some of the key things we talk about when we're talking about having your best year ever. It's getting the answer to those 4 questions, understanding what the 4 frameworks for your business are, understanding that words form a narrative, then your numbers tell a story, and create that alignment. And then how does that alignment actually help you to evolve as a leader as your business evolves? And then understanding that evolution must be the natural state of our business. It's the natural state of us as human beings. It's the natural state of us as a species to start with, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yet we're so focused on growth. Growth is about being more for more, whereas evolution is about becoming more and then being more of that, then becoming more and being more of that. So if you want to have your best year ever, and you want to work less and achieve more, and you want your people to work less and achieve more, then focus on evolution as the natural state of your business. Anything last to add? Because we're already at 31 minutes.
I think you nailed it. Mic drop.
Cool.
Start with
So next Thursday, we might actually be back in Perth, I'm pretty sure, in the studios at Circle Leadership headquarters, where I will be.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you then. If anybody wants this information, just put hashtag best year ever. And we've got some workbooks and some models that we can actually send you. We can send you the workbook from the workshop if you like.
Really cool.
The workbook from the workshop is yours. If you put hashtag best year ever,
Yeah.
we'll make sure that you get a copy of that.
Yeah.
Until next time, Dave and Lisa on the road at ABSH. Thanks to Brendan and the team for letting us use their boardroom and allowing us to be here. Look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Same Iron Time, Iron Channel.
Wow. I didn't think it would get any worse, so he's just proved me wrong again.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Oh, amazing check-in from Florida. Thank you. Yes, we got people in Florida. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love Florida. I used to go to Stewart all the time, West Palm Beach. Love it as a Canadian, snowbirds. So,
You should take me.
yes, we'll take
See
you
you
down
in
there.
Florida.
Lots of great golf courses.
See
See you
ya.
guys. I'll make sure you get